Hi everyone. I thought that I would do an kind of a story about how I make my pumpkin, my kabocha, because a lot of my friends, we did some seminars over the weekend and they really loved my pumpkin. So I'm making this for Sharice and Corey, so we'll see how they like it. So one of the things that I do is I have to take this cleaver and, oh my goodness, it is kind of foaming at the mouth here. But I take this cleaver and I basically pound it with the sharpest knife that I have for a while. And it actually takes a while for me to do this and probably a lot of concentration. So we'll fast forward soon so that you can go ahead and see what it looks like once it's all cut up. Now that that's over, after probably a long time of chopping up pumpkin, I finally have a bag. So now if you're not the kind of person who wants to chop up your own pumpkin, which I feel like I've kind of become an expert in because I do it so often for my husband, we started out eating pumpkin and having to chop this up because it was recommended that I eat more pumpkin as a starch versus rice or potato, which I love potato. And who doesn't love rice if they're in Hawaii for some reason? So we started making this and I just wanted to be cheap today and just chop it myself since I've kind of become an expert. However, you can buy it from Costco. It's super easy and it comes in like two packs. So you have about 4 packs of this pumpkin that you could just pop in the oven super easy. So what I like to do is I like to put it in about a gallon size bag and maybe about this much. You can make more, you can make less. I like to give it a little bit of room on the pan when I bake it. So what I do is I do put it in the bag and I have my handy dandy extra virgin olive oil. So I just put a whole bunch in here. I guess like if I were to say that how much I'm actually putting, it's probably around maybe like 3 tablespoons depending on the size of how much pumpkin I put in. So you can see got some oil in it. I don't know if you can see that. And then we like to put in some salt, so I'll put in some salt. Now Sheldon isn't really, my husband, Sheldon isn't able to have too much salt, so since I want to keep him alive, I don't put too much salt in there. And then I have some ground pepper. I like to put in actual ground pepper while I'm doing this, and I just put as much that looks as good as I can. But if I were to think about how much actually goes in here, I'm probably putting a good solid teaspoon or 2, depending on how much pumpkin I made. So you can see I'm putting a lot of work into that. Then I actually have this from my auntie Sheila, my favorite auntie. I put this brown maple sugar in because I used to use put a lot, but that was probably about a teaspoon's worth. And the reason why I put it in is because I used to use maple syrup, and then I was thinking, oh, it's probably not that good. Not that I think that maple sugar is that good for me. I decided I'd still put that in. And then the next thing that I put in is cinnamon. I like to put in cinnamon, ground cinnamon. It was on clearance, I guess. So my mother-in-law bought this one. And I put in a whole bunch of cinnamon, just like a whole bunch. So this is probably about 2 teaspoons worth of cinnamon. And then because I put that in, nothing better than everything but the bagel sesame from Trader Joe's. I don't know, it just tastes so much better, and it took us a long time to figure out how to really make this pumpkin because I put in a whole bunch of things, and actually I just realized I forgot an ingredient in here to make it even better. I don't know if you know this, but sage is one of my favorites, and I have some sage leaves. I guess I could use some sage leaves in there. So we'll go ahead and grab that from the cupboard. So I have some sage leaves and I like to put a whole bunch in here. So I'd say I put in about 2 teaspoons. Looks like I used 2 teaspoons here. And then that's it. So sometimes I'm not sure if I put in enough oil or not. And then my mother-in-law, she was actually teaching my niece and nephew, Jada and Max, how to make things from a bag. So it gave me this great idea. Of course, I mean, I'm sure most of you do this, where you stick all your ingredients in a bag and you can see the oil is really gathering up there. And then you just shake it like this. I like to get every piece of pumpkin covered by this concoction that we put in this bag. And it's just a real quick, easy fix for dinner. Something to add because we already have some roasted chicken that we're going to be making tonight. And I thought it would be great to supplement it with our favorite pumpkin that we make. And it's just about getting covered with everything in here. See? Really put it in there. And then what you have is you've got it all mixed up like this. I was making this for my friends the other day, and because we were in seminars all day virtually, I thought that it would be great to just keep it marinated like this in the refrigerator, and then we would just pop it out and we made it every day so that 4 of us could eat it. It's so easy, it's our quick go-to, and I recommend it for anyone. My vegetarian friend loved it, so if you're vegetarian, you might like this. It's my favorite thing that I literally make 2 or 3 times a week. Super easy, super fresh, and although I did use non-fresh ingredients, but super yummy. That I think, and I hope that you'll enjoy this. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to text me, email me, or contact me by phone. I'm open to any feedback that you have, and I look forward to seeing your next meal. I'll go ahead and show you the finished product when we're finished, and hopefully my husband likes it. Okay, actually, I did want to show you that I do put it on a baking sheet, like so, and you can see it, so it's pretty well covered over there. And then I go ahead and I use of course I don't have one when I want one, I use a handy dandy tongs to go ahead, and we want to make sure that they're spread out so that they have, I don't know, that's actually what I saw in the recipe that I was using this for, and I thought it'd be good to kind of give them room to breathe. So I usually like to turn them on the green side. I don't know if that's sort of like a pre-programming thing, but I do like to turn them to look like so. It is definitely, but for the essence of time, we'll do our best to turn them on the green side. And if not, the great thing is you're gonna eventually turn it to another side. What I like to do is cook it about 20 minutes on each side if I can. If I'm getting a little impatient, well, I just cook it 10 minutes on each side. So it really just depends on your oven. Our oven is pretty good. It also depends on the size of the pumpkin that you're cooking. I definitely highly recommend this. So actually really well coated. I'll go ahead and pop this in the oven. So they're kind of all spread up, well, a little squished in there, but sometimes when you make a lot, you want to do some squishing. And then we'll go ahead and stick them in the oven. You want to bake this at 400 degrees. I like to do it because it's fast and easy. So you can go ahead and bake it for 400 degrees, 10 minutes on each side or 20 minutes on each side. It just depends on your oven and how fast you want to cook it. But I do like to make it sort of like that crispiness on top or with like softer in the middle. So it just depends on how you like to cook it. So we'll wait and see. Yay. Okay, so as promised, I do have the rest of everything and I'm going to show you. Of course, now I don't know what I did with my gloves. So we'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. And then we're going to go ahead and move over so that's how it looks like, kind of spread out, and then we're going to turn everything over and then put it back in the oven. I started doing this because I'm a realtor and I don't really have that much time to plan a meal or cook, and we were cooking a lot during COVID because of course we had to eat and there wasn't, sometimes a lot of the food isn't stuff that I personally can eat in my diet. So it's just really kind of a cool thing for my husband and I to do together. So hopefully you'll enjoy it just as much as we do. Ready for the finished product? Oh yeah, I gotta go ahead and grab these too. Ready? Ta-da! I know it doesn't look that different from the first time, except that I think you'll find they taste better. So I tasted one in here and it was definitely still kind of crunchy, like raw pumpkin crunchy. So I put it in for a little bit longer. So a total of 30 minutes for these puppies, and they were cut kind of pretty big. So if you want it softer, just add another 10 minutes and it'll be perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming. I enjoyed every bit of it, and let me know if you need help making my favorite dish.